Stephanie Gaines, host of the Seekers podcast. Are you watching the Eastern Conference Finals? Did you watch the Celtics lose to the Miami Heat? You know, I'm a sports fan, but it's not. Let me fix my collar here. I don't know what's going on with my wardrobe assembly, but sometimes I'm not at the level where I have hair and makeup and wardrobe assistance. So I just kind of have to fake it until I make it. But just something going on. Maybe I need a little ironing on my collar. I don't know. But anyway, it's the Eastern Conference Finals. Well, it was the Eastern Conference Finals last night. The Miami Heat prevailed over the Boston Celtics. You know I love me some sports. And the thing I love about sports, as I said, athletes are some of my favorite people because they are competitors, regardless of the scene, the stage. They come to compete. They have to not be afraid. Sometimes the human instincts kick in. Sometimes nerves get in the way, but for the most part, athletes show up, regardless of what the narrative is going to be, knowing somebody's going to bash them the next day, and they compete. They compete. They compete. I'm learning to think of myself as an athlete, not a physical athlete. I can't hoop. I can't play football. I don't even know how to see that baseball to hit it. And in hockey, I mean, I can't even skate on ice. Let's stop that. So, I mean, soccer, I mean, come on. That's too much you're doing with your feet, your heels, your legs, all that running around. I can't do all that. But I love athletic competition because it is inspirational. I start to think of myself as a mental athlete. And I use athletic competition as a way to inspire myself to be my best self when obstacles get in the way, when there's a challenge in front of me that I'm not comfortable with. I think of athletes as athletes become my inspiration. They do. I treat it as a one-on-one opponent. Um, in basketball, I treat it as a one-on-one opponent. How am I going to play defense against this obstacle in front of me at this very moment? How am I going to play defense against this person who may be vexing my nerve? I might not be in the best spiritually enlightening place that day. And the reason I like the Eastern Conference Finals, I mean, it's not that I watched a lot of Eastern Conference Finals because everybody knows I'm a LeBron fan. And yes, I'm hurt. LeBron's out. But the reason I like the Heat Celtics series is because the Heat were the eighth seed, the least likely to triumph and appear in the NBA Finals. But what did they do? They beat the Milwaukee Bucks, the number one seed. They beat the Boston Celtics, the number two seed. Are you going to walk in the narrative that you're just the number eight seed, hoping to conquer the number two seed, or you're going to walk in the narrative of I am the Miami Heat. I am Tiffany Gaines, and I'm going to take on this opponent and the challenges that's in front of me, and it is my intention to prevail. But it's like a belief you got to walk in. It's like a belief that you got to own. It's a facts. It's kind of a facts versus feelings. The fact number one, the Boston Celtics were the number two seed. Fact, Miami Heat were the number eight seed. What are their feelings? The feelings is what got in the way. Boston felt, at the end of the day, Boston felt something that kept them from being victorious. Outside, Jason Tatum got injured. Yes, he twisted his ankle, but there was a feeling behind the Miami Heat's momentum. There was a feeling behind their will to win. All playoffs, the entire playoff run, there was a feeling behind the Miami Heat's effort in when they played. There was a feeling behind the Miami Heat's method in playing each of these series. There was a feeling that they were going to win. They were walking in a feeling tone of victory. And why can't we do that every day? Why can't we, regardless of what seed we are, walk in the feeling tone of being victorious in whatever we're going to do? Why do we walk in the feeling tone of the number eight seed? If you're walking in the feeling tone of being the number 8 seed, what are you hoping to accomplish? What you're doing, you're just thankful to be there. And people who are just thankful to be there are sitting in the back of the room. They're waving at the front. They're just glad to be inside the concert. It's like buying a concert ticket. You're on the last row, but you're in there. And at least you got to see something. At least you got to appreciate the performance. You don't have to just be thankful to be in the building. You're there. You may as well participate. You may as well give it your all. And it's like a feeling tone. Are you going to walk in the feeling tone of just being thankful to be there, or are you going to walk in the feeling tone that you plan to be victorious at the end of this challenge? That's what Miami did. It was facts versus feelings. Fact, we are the number 8 seed. Our feeling is we're going to win this game. And that's what it is. Walking in the feeling tone of your desires is the winning recipe. It is the secret. It is the secret to it is the secret to achieving success. Miami walked in the feeling tone. I'm not sure what Boston's feeling tone was after Jason Tatum got injured, but it didn't matter. There are a lot of undrafted guys on the Miami Heat team. I don't even know all the guys from the Miami Heat. I don't even know the last name of the guy, Caleb somebody. But he was fantastic. He was walking in the feeling tone. This dude was waived by the Charlotte Hornets. I'm sorry, what are they now? The Charlotte Bobcats, Lord. He was waived by Charlotte in 2021. Thanks, Michael Jordan. It was Miami's walk in the feeling tone. It was their walk in the feeling tone, not the fact that they were the number 8 seed, that I believe led them to victory. Boston may have been in the presumption that they are the number 2 seed and that they were going to eventually prevail. But I know they weren't walking in that feeling tone after them first 3 games when Miami swept them off that flow. They almost swept them in the series. And so, facts versus feelings. The facts may be one thing, but what's your feeling about the next challenge, the next accomplishment that you're looking to achieve? Facts versus feelings. Don't let the facts influence your feelings about being able to accomplish something. Sometimes the facts may be limiting, and sometimes we have to accept the facts of a situation. But when it comes to sort of what we decide that we're going to do, what we decide that we want to accomplish, walk in your feeling tone. Be the number 8 seed, walking in a feeling tone of being in the NBA Finals. Walk in the feeling tone of victory. Walk in the feeling tone of success. Walk in the feeling tone of why not me? Why not us? Why not? I mean, I am a very new YouTuber, and I'm telling you, the fact is, I don't have very many followers. I'm thankful for those of you who do follow. Those are the facts. But I can let the feeling tone of not having very many followers, I can let the feeling tone dictate how I get on here each and every day to take on a challenge of creating the next best video. I can let the feeling tone be overwhelming. I can let the feeling tone control my energy. I feel like I'm the number 8 seed and I'm going to make it to the NBA Finals. That is truly, truly how I feel. I don't feel like where my YouTube channel is today, I don't feel that it's going to be that way forever. I have a strong feeling tone that this is going to be a wonderful, fulfilling, successful movement for me. And that's how I walk every day. Even when I struggle sometimes getting on here to create some valuable content, even when I struggle and not feeling like I've got something valuable to give, I let the feeling tone of what I know I want this to be drive me. I let the feeling tone of where I know this is going to be get me in here and get on this camera. It's a building process, but I live in the feeling tone of where I want my YouTube channel to be. And that's what gets me in here each and every time I press that record button. Even if, as I said in my last video, sometimes the light switch don't always come on, because sometimes it don't. I'm going to tell you, sometimes it don't. Sometimes I say, no. and I press stop and I press record again. It's walking in a feeling tone of where you want your journey to take you, where you want to end up in your journey. That is the motor, that is the drive. And that's what made the Miami Heat victorious. I love athletes. I love athletes. If you don't even like sports, how can you not be wowed at the courage and the confidence of athletes to step up to the plate, the ice, um, field, the court, you know, the course, the golf course, and take on the challenge of whatever the opponent is, knowing that you may not have your best performance, but the very next time you get an opportunity, you're back. The very next time you get an opportunity, you don't back away from the challenge. You don't back down from the challenge. You don't walk away from the challenge. Each and every time an athlete gets a chance to perform, they perform. They step on the court. There are some athletes with low motors and a high volume of potential, but they have a low motor for will. And, you can tell those guys, they have a bunch of potential, but they don't have the will. They don't have the feeling tone of what they want to be. They don't have the feeling tone for eventual success. They're just happy. Those are the people that are just happy to be in the stadium. Those sitting at the top of the arena, they're just glad to be in the concert. They're just glad to be able to get a small glimpse of Janet Jackson. But then there are the athletes who come in and they pay for the tickets on the front row. It costs them a grip to get into the concert. They want to see up close what this experience is going to be like. That's the difference. Do you set a standard for just being in the building, or do you go ahead and just forego it all? I am going for it all. I'm going for front row seats for this experience. I want the front row seat for this experience. That was Jimmy Butler. That was the Miami Heat. They wanted a front row experience. And so they laid it all out, right? You lay it all out for whatever it is your goal is, whatever it is your life achievement is, you lay it all out. Don't settle for just being in the arena. Don't settle for just being able to see a small glimpse of what could be. Get on the court and participate in whatever you want your life, your destiny to be. That is what I'm doing. That is what is sometimes hard. Fighting against the narrative of why or how or what if. I live in a feeling tone. I live in a feeling tone. I live in a feeling tone of what I know this is going to be. Not what I'm hoping, what I know, what I'm living in, what I'm already claiming. So, what are you living in the feeling tone of? Are you living in the feeling tone of what you want your life to be? Or are you just glad to be in the arena? Are you glad to just be in the arena? Are you just enjoying the cheap seats? Are you just enjoying the concert? Are you looking at the concert on the screen? You know how they had that screen for those people who could only make it into the arena, right? And they had that screen and you just kind of look up at the screen the whole time because the life experience part of the event is too small for you to see, and you just kind of have to look up at the screen and kind of enjoy from a distance. No, participate. Walk in the feelings home. Let your will be the number 8 seed with 1 seed will. Have the will of a number 1 seed. Whatever you want to achieve, have an athlete's mind, have an athlete's will for competition. You're competing with life. You're competing with obstacles. You're competing with negativity. You're competing with people carrying suitcases full of negativity, right? It's all competition. Life is competition. Life, the game of life is competition. What's the opponent in front of you today? This series, my opponent is just putting out some good content, getting up to the plate. I'm standing in front of this mic. Well, I'm sitting. I'm actually sitting in front of this mic. But now it's just the Denver Nuggets. And I say just the Denver Nuggets and the Miami Heat because only people in those markets are going to really watch the NBA finals. But I'm going to watch. You know why? Because I love the competitive nature of athletes. I want to see which team is going to have the will is going to walk. I want to see which team is going to really walk in the feeling tone for what they want to achieve. Is it going to be the number 8 seed? So now it's a 1 versus 8 seed. Denver was the number 1 seed in the West. Miami's the number 8 seed in the East. I mean, wow. I mean, what else could you ask for? A 1 versus an 8 seed, or an 8 seed versus a 1 seed? Don't you want to see who's going to come out on top? I mean, Denver's the number 1 seed, but you know, I know that there's just kind of some bland disregard to Denver, but I mean, they are what they are. They are great. And if I had to pick, I would believe that most people are going to pick Miami just because it's a more recognizable city. They have had championships in the past. This is Denver's first opportunity to win an NBA championship. So I'm interested to see how they come out. Miami's going to be ready. Denver's going to be ready. But who's going to walk in the feeling tone of success? It's the number 1 seed going to carry that feeling tone. I already believe Miami is. And so that's why I love athletes. I love their competitive nature. I love their will to be great, regardless of what's in front of them, Whatever the opponent is, you got to take it game by game. Whatever the opponent is, whoever the opponent is, and regardless of how they're going to be talked about and ridiculed the next day, they step on the court, they step on the field, they step to the batter's box, they step on the ice, they step on the course. It's a competition. It's a competitive field, right? It's a competitive field. And we are competitors in life. We're life competitors. We all want something. Whether we announce it, whether we try to live in it, whether we try to achieve it, we all have something that we want in life. And we're all competitors. Some of us don't realize we're competing. Some of us are just kind of living and existing and just kind of going with the wind and going with the flow. But I invite you to participate. Participate. Realize that you're participating. Realize that you get an option to participate in the life you want to have. Realize you have to compete to get the life you want to have. There's no genie, right? Realize you got to compete. And if you're competing, think of yourself as an athlete. Think of yourself as an athlete. Carry the will of an athlete. That's what makes you a winner. That's the will, man. It's like, how do you not love athletes? How do you not love athletes? So, anyway, congratulations to the Miami Heat, the number 8 seed. Congratulations to those of you who are now going to become life competitors. You're going to think of yourself as athletes, life athletes. It doesn't matter who you think the number 1 seed is. If you're on the court, you're there to play, you got just as much chance as anybody else to win. But bring your competitive nature. Bring your will. Anything's possible. So, in the meantime, enjoy the NBA Finals. That's a sport. Lord, the season's winding down. What am I going to do? I mean, I like baseball, but I don't watch a lot of regular season baseball unless I catch an Astros game. But I do not watch a lot of regular season baseball. Maybe this year I'll try, because I believe they got a new format to shorten games. And so maybe I will, but I do watch playoff baseball for sure. But anyway, just want to get on and give an athletic perspective. Hope you guys participate. Join with me in developing an athlete's mindset. Let's be more competitive with what we want for ourselves. Let's develop a mind for competition. Let's be athletes in this game of life. Just the opponent that's in front of you in the moment. Don't get too far ahead. Have a goal, but let's win the moment. Let's win this game. Let's win today. I hope you got something from it. I know I did. I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.